The first yang aku try out was buat match magazine untuk klub DPM MFC. Edition yang keberapa kata? Aku punya net sales was around 5k. So with that money, aku beli baby crib. We were expecting our first child lah back then. And then that katil masih ada sampai now. Aku dah pernah menyewakan sound system je while doing the magazine je. Karaoke ni aku rasa macam bersalahnya aku. Ini bisa ke tahu orang nyewa aku punya tu and then bising-bising ngacau ketenteraman. Okay lah, aku jual lah karaoke ni.
Alright, welcome back to Cinemerge Podcast. Untuk part 2 ni, kita ni akan gali lagi ia punya mindset ni. Tapi kita ni akan mau tahu macam mana ia start buat bisnes ni lah. I remember kita ni punya first long conversation masa breakfast di Beijing.
Oh yes.
Ia jalan-jalan, ia bawa buku ni. Nada kosong ni orang ni. Masa tu yang ku interested juga. Ia bawa buku pasal McDonald's masa tu. I remember that. Kali Niko, kita baca buku tu. Macam tu lah. So start ada conversation panjang semuanya lah. Tapi at that time, I remember you mentioned your first kira official business. I don't know, is it your first? Yang pasal publishing magazine apa tu? Atau ada lagi sebelum itu?
Yeah, so I think I share a few. Some people would call it side gigs lah, because I was working je kan back then. So I think the first yang aku try out was buat match magazine untuk klub DPM MFC. So masa aku buat itu, aku no longer with Brunei Press, so ada conflict of interest lah. So actually aku tu approach the manager back then, club manager Pangeran Waslimin. Aku ke office aku ingat aku dah idenya aku mau cuba jual merchandise, boleh kah? Merchandise segala cups, mugs apa tu kan, scarf itu ni. Sekalinya kalau kami offer kau buat magazine macam mana mau kau? Since kau boleh menulis. Aku bila start liga? Next week. Seminggu lagi lah. Aku give me time to think lah. So aku never pernah publish buku kan, but I can write the content. Aku of course aku ni ada kamera. Okay. I think laptop time tu laptopku aku ada Photoshop. Nada fancy software lah. Microsoft Word salah. Okay. So aku fikir aku think about it overnight lah. Okay, what is the potential of doing a magazine sama merchandise? Merchandise senang pulang ni outsource, jual bla 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 bla. Okay lah. But the demand I don't know lah. Tapi macam if doing magazine, the main source of revenue is the advertising. So we jual space lah, pages atau. And of course you sell the magazine je. So I have to really learn cepat lah within that 1 week how to execute that I'll do it lah So aku fikir cameraman aku find someone, aku upah. Printing Brunei Press. Of course aku minta quotation sana sini punya Brunei Press
within that 1 week atau?
Yeah. Wow. But of course nak pulang keluar taruh selama nak kata lah. Materials aku upah someone to interview players itu ni. Wow. And then it materialized lah. So I think I did it for 3 tahun pelang. The first, second, and then I took a break pasal aku masuk BSP. Dan aku sambung lagi setahun. So and then okay lah, I think it's time to do something else. So the DPMMC match report was a really good experience because it pushes me to go approach companies, bertanya if they would be interested in itulah buying pages. So alhamdulillah time itu aku managed to secure the full season contract with TCY for Audi punya tu. So kalau you lihat yang lama-lama ada tu Audi full page. And then Imperial kah di Batu Satu ni. So
Imperial Sports?
Yeah. And then ada a few other advertisers lah. Wah, alhamdulillah. So I think edition yang keberapa kata? aku punya net sales was around 5k. Aku wah, untuk kerja, and then my salary back then with the government was less than 5k lah. Aku wah, ni macam bonus ni aku. Aku wah, baru pernah merasa aku you can earn more than what you're earning. But of course, is it sustainable? You don't know lah. Aku okay lah, what do I do with this money? So with that money, aku beli baby crib. Katil baby. We were expecting our first child lah back then. And then that katil masih ada sampai now. So aku, wah, every time I see this,
kenangan.
It's your hasil kan.
Yep.
But of course, there are times ada macam malam atau that game, aku punya sales bersih RM200 saja. Wah, ngalih-ngalih aku kerja 200 saja. But that's part and parcel kan. Sometimes you earn more, sometimes you earn less. And then you wonder kenapa 200 saja. But of course 200 lah because I have to pay pekerja, I have to pay printer, so pay dulu yang perlu dibayar lah. But overall, I think I made a good amount of money lah from that season. And then season to season, we reinvent lah how we reformat the magazine dari A4 ke A5, pasal lagi senang dia tu kan. And then of course you also need to see the performance of orang membeli lah. Dan kalau orang dah ramai ke stadium, what's the point of printing banyak barang kan? So you study lah the trend. So I think the third season ni okay lah, it's time to move to another experiment. So after that, I did. Aku dah pernah menyewakan sound system je while doing the magazine je. So aku upah orang je. Most of the things ni aku upah orang. I don't go to site, but of course I check the quality lah. And then after a while aku karaoke ni aku rasa macam bersalahnya aku. Pasal kadang bising kan aku. Ini bisa ke tahu orang nyewa aku punya tu, and then bising-bising ngacau ketenteraman. Okeylah, aku jual lah karaoke ni. That money aku reinvest. Aku buka bouncer business. So if you pernah dengar Fairyland Bouncers, so that business was quite good. Cuma it's labor intensive lah. Because satu bouncer tu is really heavy. You need minimum 2 orang lah untuk mempush. So aku how do I start niku? I need to find a concept. What concept do I want to bring? I want to bring Fairyland. Fairy tale. So aku cari bouncer yang castles, carousels, bukan yang macam yang
lompat saja,
yang biasa-biasa lah. Because you need an identity kan. So that's the identity that I brought. So yeah. After bouncer, I think I did quite a few lah other stuff until I landed with real estate. Maybe this one I can give my 100% lah. Because all the other experience it's only 50% kan. The reason I say 50% because I'm working bah. And I'm also doing this. So to me simple lah the concept of business ni. Macam kau sama aku lah. Kita ni punya kereta sama lah. Ini kira just examples ya. The kereta tu is the business model. Sama engine, sama specs, minyak penuh semua itu ini. But the driver, kau boleh 100% tekan sampai ke bawah the pedal. Because you're not working kan. Macam aku dah dapat sampai 100% aku kerja. So aku tekan sampai 50 saja. So the difference is there kan. So aku okay lah. Maybe this one could be the one lah that I can give my 100%. I don't know whether I can do it or not, but why not kan?
Cuba lah.
It's very risky. It's very risky. But if you know your strength, what you're capable of, so whatever the challenges, memang dapat diatasi lah insyaAllah.
Masa tu keluar daripada oil and gas tu untuk jump into full time atau what's the challenges masa tu?
The challenges was I've been an employee lah for almost 18 years. So all of a sudden I find myself, apa aku buat tadi ni? Macam I have my business, I have my thinking, I have my visual boards, what to do, strategy, blah blah blah. Tapi all this while kita ni sudah macam dalam program bah. Tadi bangun, sembahyang, mandi, hantar anak sekolah, breakfast, and then ke office. the office, you already have a set of instructions what to do and what is expected from you kan. Macam buat ane, buy this, buy sekian-sekian. Ane, when you suddenly on your own, nobody's there to instruct you bah. To most people nya, it's a blessing lah. Aku dah ada boss lagi. Aku dah suka bos aku tu, bla 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 bla. Tapi honestly lah, I really enjoy my time di BSP semua. I never had hard feelings seperti ini. Even when I left, I left on good terms. Yeah, I did really enjoy the job. Back to being in business, payah. Payah tu macam, because all of a sudden you have so much time, you can do anything.
Tapi dia tahu di mana kasar.
Yeah, because biasa sudah macam rigid kan. Okay. Aneh. Today, I don't know. I have idea aku simpan di box je lah. If you notice, aku always bring notebooks everywhere. This is very, very useful. So that was the struggle lah. I think in terms of finding the rhythm. Yeah.
Tapi lepas berapa lama baru kejumpahan atau the rhythm atau?
I think sampai jua 6 bulan aku masih macam apa aku buat terena. But before I resign, lampal aku, yes, I have more time, so I want to spend the time to work on other business models. I want to spend the time to learn other stuff, attend seminars, talk to other entrepreneurs. Yes, atau pulang kumah. Is that once you're there macam ada bangang je. Kenapa aku blur lah? What to do tidak? So it's very, very quiet lah. Because kalau I've read this many times. Ni orang, it can be a very lonely journey. Kalau aku di rumah, aku tekannya di rumah. Bini kerja, anak sekolah, kawan kan dia minum kerja. It's only you kan? Macam okay, what is this? Pini orang, bisa nak kerja lah, kerja sendiri, kau ada masa. Yeah, aku ada masa, but who do I spend it with? No. So okay. So that's when aku start macam getting involved with attending seminars and then getting involved with joining Dewan Perniagaan Melayu Brunei and then NCCIBD, National Chamber of Industries. So from there, aku isi my time with networking, getting to know like-minded individuals, exploring market trends. So artinya, apart from doing real estate, I'm also developing myself, getting myself ready to see what other opportunities yang adalah that we can tap on.
Tu belum lagi kita ni cerita pasal kira handling people, apa itu employees atau belum lagi tu. Tapi for me, what is your biggest motivation? Macam kalau bisnes ni memang naik, memanglah dapat diusahakan apa itu ni. Tapi turun tu pastilah. Tapi kan naik balik itu banyak orang dapat overcome tu barang itu. Tapi ada mesti ada certain motivationnya yang selalu dipegang, yang macam big why-nya apa tu. Tapi what is your biggest motivation?
Okay. Dalam dunia perniagaan ni memang indah semua manis lah orang lah. It's not easy juga, because kalau easy semua orang membuatkan. And then part and parcel mesti ada payah tu, ada struggle je. Because without struggle, you cannot benar-benar appreciate kemanisan kejayaan itu bah. If you notice, we go into macro level lah, national lah. Countries like Singapore, China, they were poor countries. Dorang dulu negara miskin kan, benar-benar miskin. But look at them now, okay? So from here, they are now leaders. Okay. So people yang this tema ni memang sama mana-mana SME yang berjaya lah. Yang aku baca biografi orang seperti ini. They started from ada humble beginnings, ada yang benar-benar payah, hardships. Compare sama SME yang well off, proper education normally yang struggling ni yang benar-benar will outperform yang biasa tu. Because I think it's already intipati derang lah. Derang sudah rasa susah. So bila menghadapi kesusahan bisnes itu nanti perkara biasa. Aku kabalnya, I've experienced worse. But of course in business, not everything is within your control lah. of course you have the external environment, the regulations, your competitions, customer preferences to keep on changing. That's why as entrepreneurs, you also need to constantly learn and adapt to changes. Kalau tidak, baik resign, retire saja kan.
Benar.
Because change is certain. So we need to stay relevant lah.
Apalagi hari ini laju berhabis.
Yeah.
Kan.
True.
Untuk kita adapt itu laju berhabis.
So you ask me what's my why kan? I don't know what's my why, to be honest. But I do know what is how I want my life to be. Yeah, simple saja. I'm not money driven, but I like peace. Yeah, aku suka ketentraman. So aku imagine myself duduk. It could be my house di sini atau could be my house di mana-mana nanti. Ada kolam ikan koi. Aku just santai enjoying my hot drinks and then baca a very good book. That's about it. To me, that's good enough. Yeah. Why? I don't know. But what I do know, what I'm doing now, is to write my own story. Yeah. And orang take charge lah, take control of your life. Because this is our life kan. Regardless you kerja ke indah, it's still your life. Yeah. So people must know that it's not the start that's really key. It's how you finish yang really important. Macam orang berlari, laju berlari. Tapi indah je menang kan. So yang penting is how you finish. Yeah. I think we have a lot of people yang talented, gifted but very introvert lah. Kan Brunei punya culture memang pendiam,
pemalu.
So I think this is one barrier that we need to work on di Brunei to break out of barrier pemaluan Macam kalau for example if you want something, you want to say something, just say it. Tapi orang kalau kita ni memang apa ni orang kena ketawakan ni macam apa ni idea. We overthink. Yeah. Tapi if you keep it simple, you say it, kalau orang terima, orang indah lah. So that's it. Nothing to overthink about.
Since Sedimerch is a brand development company, what is your favorite brand?
Yeah. So on my way here tadi aku fikir apa my favorite brand lah. Because I'm not someone yang associate much to any brands. Tapi aku ingat masa aku masih karak main bola dulu. Masa ni aku main jarang lah, seminggu sekali. Kalau dulu macam 3-4 kali seminggu. So the main brand yang really aku benar-benar minat is Adidas, especially the Adidas Predator punya boots. Okay. And the other brand is kalau telefon Sony Ericsson. Okay. Masa ni Sony ada lagi lah dia guna apa boleh buat kan. The drive between kenapa these two brands, let's talk about Adidas Predator. I think during my time, I think many people lah, even your cousin kan, minat David Beckham kan. Yeah, David Beckham is David Beckham lah. Satu, of course, he's stylish, okay. But what's more important is dia punya technical ability in scoring from free kicks, delivering crosses. So to people like us yang baru-baru berjinak main bola, that's one good role model. Put aside dia punya lifestyle lah, tapi the way dia punya dedication to perfecting dia punya execution atau nandang bola seperti ini is exemplary. So I think in business you also need role models kan. So to me in sports he was my role model. So I try to imitate crossan dia, make sure kalau aku deliver bola pinpoint, it's good. Even if you don't get to his level, but you are a better person now than you were a footballer when you started. And then that's football lah. So bila aku pakai stupor tu aku rasa ada aura aku David Beckham. So you adopt dia punya mindset. So I want to play as good as him. So that's why you go for that brand kan. That identity sama what it brings out in you as a consumer. And then yang Sony Ericsson ni, I don't know lah. Aku not so into phones pelang. Even now aku tukar-tukar brands. Kalau dulu Sony simply because dulu Sony Ericsson ada flip phone. Weh, canggih. Cool lah. Flip. Sekali after a while, every James Bond punya movie, Sony Ericsson pakai wow. So okay lah, aku beli pasal James Bond pakailah. Atau pulang saja. It's just simple as that lah. So I think itu macam product ambassador play important role je lah for products.
Yep. Tapi you mentioned tadi your role model in sports David Beckham.
Yep.
Tapi your role model in business siapa?
I don't know because aku learn a lot about biography ni dari buku, and then aku not a person yang benar-benar baca buku. I think the moment aku start into books was when I came across this one particular book by Jack Canfield, namanya How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. Dia punya cover merah tu. That book was really life changing for me. Banyak life lessons di sana. Especially ada satu yang ia kongsian I think ada this grandma ia tertindih almari di rumahnya. Dan dia minta tolong orang, nada orang dengar lah. So macam kalau in the worst case scenario nya, biar aku mampus lah di sini. Okay. Tapi dia expect ia ada the energy to live that almari and then to get out of that situation. So from there ia punya self belief naik. Ya, okay lah. Okay. And then after a while aku baca, ia sampai ngambil ia punya degree, sampai ia graduate. Aku berapa kan umur sedana, simply just because of self discovery atau. So that book really changed my mindset, my perspective of things. Ever since then aku really fond of reading books lah. So one of the role models yang aku look into was Richard Branson. I took up his book time itu.
Virgin Airline.
Yeah. So macam one of ia punya vision was to enter the African market. African market ni very volatile nya, banyak war seperti ini. But I don't know, he explored and then he made it lah. But that's just one of the role models lah. But now I'm more reading books into macam leadership books on by Lee Kuan Yew, Sir Alex Ferguson. Aku dah read pasal Mandela. But when I read, I don't read macam it's just to see what value that I can get out of it. Dorang punya history lah. Yeah. The role model wise, I don't know. Maybe real estate ataupun real estate, I can say Grant Cardone was a very big driver.
Wow.
Because the way market dia punya properties atau really aggressive.
Aku masih cari tu dia punya series yang Billionaire Undercover tu.
Aku never seen that.
Ya kan? Di mana kan tu?
I think ada. Grant Cardone sama Ryan Serhant. These two are really big names in the real estate atau scene internationally lah. But of course, ani yang what we see on social media. But in reality, there are many more yang not on social media because social media is not for everyone kan. Not everybody uses that as a marketing strategy. Yeah.
So balik-balik kan aku cakap kenapa aku boleh banyak similarity sama ke dia ni kan. Role modelnya Richard Branson. My role model in business, Tony Fernandez.
Yes.
Kira small scale sikit lah.
Ada kan sama tu ya punya the way they see Tony Fernandez
Asia. Tadi kan sambung di part 3. Kami rehat dulu untuk kita ni jumpa di part 3. Alright, see you.